time evolves and comes to a place where it renews again. There is first a purification time, then there's renewal time. We are getting very close to this time now. We were told that we would see America come and go. And in a sense, America is dying from within because they forgot the instructions on how to live on earth.
Especially has two very real concerns. Number one, you have to know that the reputation, half of the reputation of voodoo being such a bad thing has to do with the fact that magic and medicine was used by a pack of supposedly disorganized slaves to overcome the army of Napoleon Bonaparte. The second part of it is that after winning the revolution, I personally feel like the energy of war that was raised in order to win that victory, the people who knew how to cool that energy down must have died, because that energy then turned in on its own people, you see. And so Haiti has a lot of problems with the warrior gone wild, okay?
Okay, y'all, we here with the great Rod Hayes, this great scholar, man, teacher. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my master teachers. So you know what I mean. I learned a lot from the man. Man, he's a good brother. He's a chief walking the land, and he's carrying himself as such. I'm gonna let Rod give you the title of what we going over tonight, because it's very important, and it's how can I put this? It is an intricate part of our growth as a people on this land, and what he has to say tonight needs to be listened to, adhered to, and paid attention to. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and rock with it, Rod.
So today we talking about the closing of the Haitian Conjur, the upheaval in Haiti, or Haiti, because Sister Bayella don't like people to call it Haiti because that's not the correct pronunciation of the name. It's Haiti. So every time I say Haiti, I hear her voice in my head correcting me. But so this is what we're looking at. We've been under protracted war for over 500 years. Every tribe migrated to fight in what we call the Gullah Wars. The Gullah Wars was the indigenous people of the land fighting the conquistadors. The conquistadors came over as Spanish exiles from the Northwest African province that was back then called Al-Maghrib. So when you look at the historical record, you find some anomalies that can't be answered for. For instance, the modern Moroccan flag got a 5-point star when the original Moroccan flag had a 6-point star. Went from a 6-point star to a red flag. Now it's a red flag with a 5-point star. But if you do a parallel analysis with the Moorish Science Temple, you see that Noble Drew Ali was using the red flag with the green 5-pointed star before the nation that became chartered as Morocco, right? So they stealing from Noble Drew Ali, and they're exposing who they are in the process because they trying to rewrite history and write themselves into our place in history. So we're not buying that. So the most traumatic discovery was to find out that the white man wasn't white. And that's where it comes in to look in Black's Law Dictionary to find out what a free white person in law is. So you can understand this is a conjure war, spiritual warfare, which brings us to what do that mean? In the spiritual warfare, you have participants from different tribes, different priest classes, and the ones who follow the law of righteousness, they are all working synergistically to overcome the deficit caused by rogue forces that invaded and is currently occupying the earth. We here to take the earth back. We already seen the lady put the Pope on notice, tell her that the chiefs across the land have been selected by the mothers in order to reclaim the land. There's only one thing, the only obstacle that remains is the Haitian call of the sweet water. It's an OSHUN ritual, right? So if you want to close out the war energy, you have to first put the war spirits to rest. And it's a ceremonial process in which the Haitian priesthood being infiltrated could never do because they thought that those priests down there was our people. But they was masquerading as us because they can go into the Haitian community and speak the patois and use the priesthood of the Vadum to misguide the people who don't know the proper method. But when you follow the energy, disregard all the people, follow the energy. The energy takes the Haitian Revolution and it ends up in Florida. Florida is where the Gullah Wars took place. When our ancestors tell the story, they call it the Gullah Wars, the Geechee Wars, the Gullah Geechee Wars. And when the invaders tell the story, they are Seminoles. Seminole being a Spanish term or a Latin term, right? And the root being semi, which means half, as they say, we was all mixed tribes. But the reason we was mixed is because tribes came as far away in the Northwest as the Inuits of Alaska and the South Pacific, as far as Hawaii, the Tonga Islands, and the Samoan Islands. All of those sent warriors to fight in the wars. Now, while they were invading South America and the islands, we was holding them at bay in Florida, and that was where We fought the Spanish Armada. That's where they burned down our trees, chopped down our trees, scorched the land, right? The war had got so bloody that the mothers across the land said, stop the bloodletting. So we went into a Conjur war. The Conjur war was feathers versus feathers. And it's known as George Washington Challenge.
The L's versus the Bays.
The L's versus the Bays.
The Feds were the L's and the Bays were the feathers. That's us.
Right. And that's why you can't never find the flag of the Bays. You can't find the flag of the Bays because, okay, first of all, Bays and Days are terms of the Ottoman Empire's rulership class, right? And they carried out functions and they were all under the direction of somebody called an Ali. Right? The exalted one or the highest one. So the governmental orders came down through the Sharia law, through the Caliphate, to the priest class in the Ottoman Empire, and they divided the land up, and you needed 10 days in order to see the bey. Right? A bey needed 10 days under him. Days is spelled D-E-Y-S. And there had to be 10 beys in order for Ali to reign over. Okay, so Noble Ali brought the flag of the Moorish Science Temple. We never used flags. We used totem poles. But they used flags. So they followed something called the law of the flag. It's part of the Admiralty jurisdiction from them claiming that we crashed our landmass into their ship. So when you get to Florida, this is where the thick of the fighting is. So when we start to go back home, because we in a ceasefire, we supposed to be under treaties, ceasefire agreements with those invaders. Now they came in as English, French, Dutch, Portuguese, and Spanish, but they was all melanated. But they blocked the institutions with the pale faces that was loyal to them, right? And they would be the ones that lead the KKK raids in the South. And go back and watch the Emmett Till movie. Emmett Till was Chief Littlehorn. He wasn't whistling at the lady. He was whistling Dixie, the battle cry. That's what they don't tell you. They don't tell you it was some melanated people, some grown-ass men that went and got him from his people.
That's why they showed the black man in the documentary that was still living, that was one of the ones that went and got him.
Yeah, they show it in the movie. They just dropped the Emmett Till movie. I've been telling people for the longest, they look like us is the reason they keep fooling us. That's how we kept getting tricked, because they look like us, but they got the financial institutions, the legal institutions, political institutions, all blocked out by pale faces. And this is the doctrine known as white supremacy. It's codified as a protocol. The protocols that I learned out of Zion is how to do it. The blueprint, the layout of what they're doing is in the Morals and Dogma of Albert Pike. So we've overcome all of the papal bulls, right? Because the Pope said we was imbeciles in law, and I was able to exercise blood right and the rights of inheritance of the land in order to tell them to leave, because I'm the chief who knew what to do. It don't make me better than nobody else, because you know something to do as a chief on the land that I don't know.
Yeah,
you got to do the parts you know how to do. I just knew from my studies that if they did that, then if this is true, and I exercise my blood rights to rule, they gotta submit.
Yeah,
that's called the Great Law. The Great Law is a hierarchy of principles. And these principles, you have to develop a certain character in order for those principles to become part of who you are. This is why most of our history was oral tradition. Because as you go through life, becoming an elder, you then download certain parts of the agreements between humanity and the spirits on the earth, or we call them the Orisha, right? So at certain times, the spirit of the Orisha activate the DNA of a certain human in order to express the will of nature. So now we got to put the war spirits to rest. And the only way to put the war spirits to rest is to call back the Sweetwater, the OSHUN energy.
People travel to the OSHUN River annually in August during this 2-week festival to give their respects, make sacrifice, and ask for different things such as wealth, health, and children. The OSHUN festival begins with a cleansing procession of the town, then followed by the ceremony when all the crowns of the past kings assemble and are blessed by the Arugba. The Arugba, or calabash carrier, is a key figure of the whole festival. She holds the OSHUN's calabash on her head. The sacrifice for the goddess is contained in the calabash, and the Arugba is responsible for carrying the calabash on her head and taken to the river. Regarding the festival, the historian Jacob K. Olupona writes, "The OSHUN festival represents a quest for the divine presence and power of the goddess OSHUN, who is harnessed at this auspicious time to aid individuals and to serve communal ritual purposes." Outside of West Africa, OSHUN is venerated in different American cultures as well. Due to the Atlantic slave trade, people of Yoruba origin were forcibly transported to the Americas. It was these people that brought their beliefs of OSHUN to the New World, and it is their descendants that keep these beliefs alive. In Cuba, Trinidad, and other Caribbean nations, we see OSHUN celebrated in the Santeria religion, where she is referred as Ochun. And in Brazil, she takes the name Oxum. But in all these places, we see festivals and ceremonies dedicated to her. Whether on the African continent or abroad, OSHUN continues to be worshipped by many as a deity of water, as a source of life, power, fertility, and authority.
Which is pure unadulterated love. We call it raising the matriarch, right? Putting the great mother back on her throne.
Big Mama.
Big Mama. Cleaning up Big Mama house. That's what we're doing in real time.
In real time.
And Big Mama got one of us boys for everything that she need done. Mine is to come in and dismantle this shit, this farce that they call a government, and to close all Conjurs. So the only one I haven't finished closing, but it started, was the Haitian Conjur. The part where we needed the bookman, who was definitely going to come back to close it because he was one of the ones that opened it. When he initiated the closing of it, he's the Hogan. He was the overseer. He was the one who has the gavel, the one that said it is over. So the bookman said it's over. They still have to play out the parts they played out that led up to them opening the ritual, because you got to go out the same way you came in. Right? Mm-hmm. So now they all come back. They all making contact with each other, with me crossing these wires. My job is to put it all together. And studying certain of the OSHUN priestesses and the Badun priestesses, they tell me the secrets of how to close this shit. I'm just perceptive enough to hear it, where it go over most people's head. They play monkey in the middle and I catch a key. Right? So when I listen to them, they got a certain authority when they deliver the message. Women warriors, great mothers. Some of them don't even get their recognition until their hair is gray. Right? And then she get her Big Mama seat. Mm-hmm. Right? Haiti got a Big Mama. So it's up to the Haiti Big Mama to say, okay, we can close this shit. So we believe that John Dessalines is the guy known as Barbecue that's leading the Haitian Revolution.
From the rebels down there, Barbecue.
Right.
Yeah. The one that the United States, they took them Christian people that came down there and told them don't come down here with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So John, barbecue, we believe that is him calling for the rest of the ones who opened the Conjur to come home and close it. In other words, to return back to the homeland, because if you go back to the stories, what happened? The Toussaint got took by the French, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Van Inside at? He's in the same custody, same position. They replaying this shit right in front of our face.
Yeah.
Right? We got to hide the priestess because every time she came back to try to close it, that shit didn't turn out right because they got the priesthood was infiltrated.
Yeah.
But we couldn't close it in Haiti. We got to close it in Florida because they brought soldiers from Haiti to fight in the Gullah Wars to carry that same energy from Toussaint and the Bookman and John Dessalines and bring that shit over here so we could tear this motherfucker up over here.
So that's why all of the politics is leading to Florida after every election, to Florida, Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago was the capital of the Gullah Empire.
Of the Gullah Empire, yeah.
Right?
That's what I thought.
They just put other shit there.
Yeah.
To try to act like it's a new city. It's an old city. But they used to have treetop villages.
Yeah.
And that's why when you go to Florida, right? That's why when you go through Florida, you see all of those stumps of trees sticking out. That's from them burning them down.
Yeah.
Then when you go look up what happened to the cypress trees, they show you they was leading them out by the train load.
Yeah.
They shipped the cypress from Florida all over the world. And it took them almost 100 and some years to get them chopped down.
I saw you on Young Elder when you were showing how they chopped the huge trees that was thousands of years old. One white girl just went and set one of them on fire and got probation. And
down in Florida.
Yeah.
See, they was burning us out. See, we think that the war, they never stopped attacking us. We just stopped fighting back openly.
Yeah.
That we know that they never stopped fighting us from watching the Panthers,
the
Black Liberation Army, the Symbionese Liberation Army, the Weather Underground.
Yeah.
Right?
The bombing in Philadelphia.
Movement.
Movement, yeah.
Yeah. Looking at all of the political prisoners, Mumia.
Yeah.
Seiko. Right? Looking at what they did to George and Jonathan Jackson.
Yeah.
They was warriors in the war. The land never stopped fighting. It's just that the method in which we was fighting was not what Big Mama wanted.
Yeah.
And so they turned us against each other by turning the war conjure on us. They knew that we was in the middle of a war conjure, and all they got to do is put somebody that looked like us to say, yeah, I'd kill that nigga if I was you.
Yeah.
And the war conjure, that energy, that warrior energy, when you see them warriors, you know them, but they about it.
Yeah.
It's easy to be led into the motherfucking danger zone. When you look at Rwanda, you look at the child soldiers that they use to fight. Why do they use them? The most efficient soldiers is the child soldier. He has no fear because he don't have enough sense
to know any better.
He don't know no better.
Yeah.
All he knows is warfare now.
Yeah.
It's a perfect soldier.
Yeah.
If he can understand how the system works and follow the method, he can become a leader of a regiment.
Yeah.
And probably rise to prominence and become a despot and take over. Right? Because that's what they breed.
Yeah.
That's what they breed in the inner city. That's what the COINTELPRO situation was all about. They capture our leadership. The children don't have no guidance. Without no guidance and direction, the force and power is total destruction.
Yeah.
Right? So now what we have to do is we reverse the cycles. Everything has to be set right for the next 7 generations starting now.
Yeah.
Right? The last thing left is for them to call the Sweetwaters back to Haiti.
Call OSHUN home.
Call OSHUN home. The warriors can't rest until OSHUN's been satisfied because she's the source of their thirst. So it's like they drinking salt water. You know, now OSHUN comes, now they drink fresh water.
and all of the fresh water has retreated. So when it comes back, when she do come back, all the rivers, she gonna come back with a force.
Massive force.
Yeah, lots of force.
And it's all in the name of love.
All in the name of love, for cleansing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is the orders of the ages. We go through cycles of life, cycles of ascension and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
We eternal beings. How long do you expect to live a certain lifestyle without trying to try something different in order for you not to be bored being eternal?
Yeah.
This simulation that we running now through our collective unconscious, this simulator was called misery. How much misery can you take before you change it? And we can take an unbelievable fucking amount of misery.
That's why Noble Drew Ali said, I'm gonna leave these people with you until you get tired and learn to self-govern.
Yeah.
So you learn to close this con.
That's all you got to do.
And get the evil off the land.
This is the thing with us as the chiefs on the land. And I don't even really like feel comfortable calling myself a chief all the time, right? Because that's a great responsibility, right? And just to be considered that by the people, let alone for you to accept that concept, right? To me, it feels arrogant, right? But when it's true, it's true.
Yeah.
Supreme
Big Mama gave you a job.
Yeah. And supreme confidence gives you a sense of arrogance. Mama said, if you fight from the position of right, you can't lose.
Fact.
I've been fighting for the position of right since I can remember. Even when I did my dirt, I always stood the position of right. Right? Because I didn't do no dirt to nobody who wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
The rules of the game say if you in the game, you part of the game.
Yeah.
You green, you in.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't believe in involving civilians in street life.
Yeah.
Right? So you fight from the position of right, from the underground.
Yeah.
Right? Can you get it from the dirt? Right?
You gotta get it from the mud.
That's one of the tests of the chief. Before you can put on your feathers, motherfucker got to see what you made of.
Yeah.
Where you come from, how you cut. See, first they were saying I was a big fish in a small pond. So they shipped me to Chicago.
Yeah.
When I got to Chicago, they said, no, it's a fucking shark in the lake. It is what it is. They didn't all came.
Yeah.
The red lodge, the blue lodge, the green lodge, the earth lodge, the sky lodge, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians. They didn't all send somebody down here to see what I know. Cuba came to see if I knew who was the elders in the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
The most forgotten one being Camilo Cienfuegos, right? Just carrying on the energy from the victory of Haiti.
Yeah.
So if Haiti healed, guess who can heal? Everybody.
Everybody. Haiti heals the pulse of Big Mama.
Right. Because this is where the people laid down everything to gain everything. Other places, they don't want to give up everything to gain everything. They only want to give up this part or that part. Haiti gave it all up. Said, fuck it, take it all.
Yeah.
Until we win it all. And that's why they've been in this warlock. You know, in a state of perpetual war. They can't get out of it. How do they get out of it? Somebody got to see the energy. Find the characters who reincarnated that was that energy in the past life. And then you tell them what they need to do. And then the message gets back to what they would call the motherland of Haiti, what we would call the epicenter of the redemption, right? Mm-hmm. If they take and stop warring for blood and start calling forth the sweet water, right? That's how you relax the war spirit. As soon as they turn the war conjure into an OSHUN ritual in the love energy, all of them hostile forces becomes putty in their hand. And then the mothers of Haiti will draw together and start delegating the food to the youth.
All of the everything that the patriarchy that Conjur it took from us, that matriarchy, Big Mama getting her shit back.
Right.
She coming to claim her shit.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's inevitable. As above, so below.
Yeah. And so when the spiritual work is done, you wait for the turnaround in the physical.
Yeah.
And the physical requires you to match the energy coming from the spirit. So right now we on an all-out campaign to inform Haiti, hey. Tell Barbecue to go to the OSHUN priestesses and call back the Sweetwater to conjure clothes, and that will turn the energy around on the dime. Instantly. On some about face shit.
Give Big Mama a welcome and home party.
Yeah, we have Mardi Gras from coast to coast.
Yeah, from coast to coast.
It's going to be Los Carnaval from Brazil to Washington. It's the same ritual. Dia de Muerte.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead for the Mexicans.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit. It's to honor the Big Mama to return back to life.
Big Mama here to cry her baby.
Yeah. And she answered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What Genghis Khan say?
Man.
You must have been guilty of great sins.
Man.
Because had you not been, Big Mama wouldn't have sent a nigga like me to get on your head.
For real. For real. This is what the people need, because a lot of our people don't have a in-depth knowledge of what's really going on, and the depths of spirituality that that the conjure, the patriarchal conjure that's on our people, what you can call Christianity, whatever the papal bull. You said we done overcame them all in the conjure, but our people are still up under this trance.
Soon as Haiti flip
the conjure and bring Big Mama home.
Wow.
All of the scales fall off the eye.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
That's just the final written of the veil.
Yeah.
Now all eyes gonna see.
Yeah.
Big Mama said, y'all get out of line, I'm gonna send my baby boy, he ain't gonna leave no stone unturned.
Yeah.
Right. So the only thing left is to not leave this Haitian thing neglected. Has to be dealt with head on. You can't duck that shit. All you got to do is stand in the position right and tell the truth, and they'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm standing in the position of right, telling the truth, representing Big Mama. And I'm not for no bullshit. I'm not for no games. It's not even negotiable.
Yeah.
Flat out public notice, 101. The oral tradition. Who see authoritative utterance, exceptional insight. Raise the conjure. Right? Turn the war energy to love energy.
Yeah.
Right? So how is you going to give up your guns and turn them into plowshares if you're still ready for war? That means that the love energy, which is the queen of heaven and earth, has to return as the golden lady.
Mm-hmm.
When she returns, she brings back the sweet water, brings back the blessing and the prosperity. Right?
Yeah.
So we listen to our elders. They tell us what the problem is. The problem is the system designed for us not to listen to our elders. But my mama wired me. I didn't get wired by the system. My mama wired me.
Yeah.
At the feet of the master. Right? That's where the wisdom drips from the lips of the mother and lands on the top of the baby's head. Right?
Yeah.
So they called him a mama's boy. Thought he was going to grow up to be a pink prince. He turned out to be a purple king.
And my mother's son.
Yeah. But I'm also my daddy's boy.
Yeah.
Right? Like father, like son. Right? And my mama said, don't let nobody take your sibling shit. My daddy said, a man moves straight.
Yeah.
So if my daddy said, a man moves straight, I'm straight up the middle. Tell them the goddamn truth. My mama said, when you tell them the truth, that's a sword to cut both ways.
Yeah. Double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword. And it say right in Revelations, out of his mouth came a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
cut down the wicked, and heals the righteous.
Yeah.
Well, we here to cut down the wicked and heal the righteous. If you put everything where it goes, it's going to run the way it's supposed to run. Earth is a matriarchal planet, therefore you restore the matriarchy, you restore the earth.
Restore your golden age.
Yep, a new golden age.
A new
And you look
golden
at, we're
age.
going from a silver cycle to a solar cycle.
Yeah.
So now you got the guys that's in love with the sun and the solar rays and the UVBs.
Yeah.
Never knowing they all serve a purpose. Right? For an eternal being, to be an eternal being, he has to raise himself up from the darkness of night.
Yeah.
Right? And the darkness of night is illuminated on earth by what? The moon, right?
Yep.
That's the silver key. Right? So how do you conquer the night? You got to get the golden key. Right? That's the fatherland. Green, the golden key is the golden motherfucking rulership, right? Right? That's the gorilla key, the N key. ENQI, Enki.
Yeah. Inky's kid.
Right. Enki key is the father key.
Yeah.
Because he was called the great father, Ta. Right? But
Yeah.
in the Middle East, they called him Zendavesta. I mean, not Zendavesta, Mahabharata. Mazda. And they write about him in the Zendavesta.
Yeah.
That's Enki, the father. So the son's greatest aspiration is to be like the father with all of his good traits, but don't take none of the bad ones.
Yeah.
Right? And listen to the mother to learn how to be a wise one so as not to fall on deaf ears when your lady's speaking to you, you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Right? That's learning the balance. My mother said, honor your mother and your father that your days may be long on the earth.
Yeah.
That means don't take sides. Mom and daddy fight, you just break that shit up. Right?
Yeah.
You don't get in it. Right? Your heart pulling both ways.
Yeah.
But most of us going to be leaning toward mama because she's got the heart connection through the mitochondrial link.
The DNA.
Yeah. And she controls the heart chakra.
Yeah.
Right? But because mama loved daddy, that make the babies love daddy.
Yeah.
Right? If daddy love the baby, that makes the mama love daddy. It's a cycle. Right? But then when the woman go rogue, she don't love the baby and she don't love the daddy.
Yeah.
So it's they love to keep them together, even when they're apart. So you turn the war story into a love story and you change the trajectory of Earth. We got to clean this up for the future. Our children shouldn't fight the same dumb shit we fighting today. And they've been fighting this shit for 200 years. Right?
Yeah.
So how do you end it? Call back to Sweetwaters.
Call back to Big Mama.
Cry to mothers.
Welcome her home.
Mm-hmm.
Let her hear her children's cry. And let her know that she wanted. That she loved. When she feel the love, she'll return home.
Nobody want to be nowhere they're not appreciated.
No. And that Conjur was to take the love of Big Mama and replace it with all other kind of shit that don't make no sense and don't align with Mother Earth.
Look, you can't attack the mother in front of a flock of kids. Especially when she raising soldiers.
Yeah.
They're coming for your ass. One of them gonna watch the rest of them fail and figure out how to win from all of their mistakes. One of them gonna fall back, called the black sheep, and slapped upside the head, called nappy head motherfucker. Little raisin head boy, little black motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's a black sheep. The black rock. The stone the builders rejected.
Yeah.
Who was the builders? What, the builders and masons?
Yeah, your uncle that sold you into slavery. Enlil's kids.
That's right. It was that's the nation doctrine, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your uncle sold you into slavery. That show say that.
Yeah. Talking about Enlil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Inky's brother who sold us all into slavery.
Yeah.
Because he got mad. Somebody had another God that was superior to him in their heart.
Yeah. That's where it comes from. He's a jealous. Putting no God before him. Yeah. But that doctrine goes to you, don't it? It speaks to you. The God inside of you. It could be Inky or Enlil, right? You just don't know who you is.
You know.
You know, I'm talking about we know, but some of our people don't realize that they fighting the wrong fight.
That's how they win. That's why they look like us.
That's what the Conjur was all about.
Because they didn't believe at the end of 200 years, one of us would come up and realize, I don't know about no feds.
Yeah.
Last time I was here, nigga, we had feathers everywhere.
Yeah.
Where's the feathers? And who was the motherfuckers with the feathers on? Where they come from?
Because they don't look like us.
They don't look like us.
Yeah.
When you start talking about motherfucking Skywalkers, I'm thinking Big Tookie.
Yeah.
Right? Angel Bay, Treetop Pyrus.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, when you start talking about Big Mama House, I'm thinking Vice Lord Nation.
Yeah.
Unknowns, conservatives, insane, travelers.
Yeah.
What is they talking about? I'm looking at the tribes, but the tribes don't know where they at.
Man, don't know they at home. In their own yard and don't know they at home.
And don't know they fighting their cousins that don't like them.
Man.
The other side of the family.
Yeah. That's why I say this family business.
Yeah, family business. It's not personal.
Not personal.
As soon as you take it personal, you get blind. And that's how you move straight. You don't take it personal. You just answer the goddamn question.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Stand in the position of right. I got the blood and the right, so I'm exercising that shit.
So we hear about the closing of the Conjur in Haiti. So that's our final that's our last brick to lay on the building. Is to close the Haitian Conjur. And all of those soldiers and warriors, right, say that barbecue calling y'all home. And we want to see if anybody want to ask any questions, or if you don't have an understanding of what he's meaning.
This is barbecue doing. Barbecue know, and he don't know it consciously.
Yeah.
He's driven by something on the inside of him, that's the energy that was John Dessalines.
Yeah.
That's just in his family tree somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the family member find a person with the most similar characteristics as the original, and that's where they can express themselves through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be the same, but a little different. Right? So he started off as a police officer. He believing that he's looking out for the interests of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Then he must, somewhere along the line, he got to discover they don't work for us.
Yeah.
Even in Haiti, they don't work for us, and half the forces appear to be us.
Yeah.
Right? Who is them motherfuckers that haven't figured it out yet? I'm trying to tell them, and they don't want to listen.
Yeah.
So he go to the people, and they got the same sentiment he got. Who is these people we calling the police? Because when I got on the inside, it wasn't what they told me.
Yeah.
So now he take it to the people, and the people was like, well, we need to do something about that shit. Let's get about it.
Yeah.
Now the energy is war energy. He's a fucking warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So what do warriors do when they got war energy rolling? They rally the fucking troops.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time he's rallying the troops, the response of the world puts the witch doctors on the other lands on notice.
Mm-hmm.
This energy right here, got to be dealt with. You can't do. How do you deal with it? And who's competent to carry out the function to organize, the oversee, and to get the word to the sources that it need to go to? Of course, Barbecue is not a sole actor all on his own. Of course, he got motherfuckers up under him that he's helping get orders to.
Yeah.
Right? He might even have some people that you don't even know about behind him, but they still riding the same energy wave.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, to turn the energy wave around is to bring all of their dirt. Everything done in the dark shall come to the light. And it all starts with calling back the Sweetwater.
That's what we doing.
Right?
Yeah.
And then that's where Haiti stands at, because they have the longest of the major successful war conjures still in the process of closing. So we already started the process.
Okay.
But the people don't know, they can't respond to the energy accordingly because they don't know what it means. They don't know what they're seeing in front of their face because they're not trained to read the energy like the priests, like the shamans, right? The Hayokas, right? I trace back first clans of the Americans, the old Mississippians, the real mound builders, the real architects of the land and designers of the great mounds all over this bitch. Whether they serpent shape, dragon shape, monkey shape, it don't matter. All that shit old. Egypt is a fucking Hollywood set that we put there to carry on the story of what's called the Holy Drama.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is not real. That's not real, the real rulers of the earth. That's just a jump station to pass into the future, to future progeny, how to reclaim the birthrights to the earth rights and restore the matriarchy. The matriarchy is the old Atlantean way. This is the old Atlantis. Here we is, raising up from my motherfucking Dallas.
Emerald City.
Yeah. Which is the Crystal City.
Crystal City.
But it's going to land on Emerald Lake in Colorado.
On Emerald Lake, yeah. Crystal City. That's going to be your, what is it, the heaven, the streets of gold and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a jumper ship. It travels from Nibiru to Earth when they in this close proximity. It normally stays on Earth.
Yeah.
But the last time it was here, Enlil and his son Marduk was taking over the Earth. So somebody had to go secure Nibiru.
Yeah.
So we sent Inky's son, Murdoch, to go secure Nibiru, which is Malachi's New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So how do we know when it's successful? They officially changed the name of Nibiru to Marduk. That means Marduk secured Nibiru.
Yeah.
And New caught down here on a stateside visit. He's stuck here. They say, Icky been gone, but no, they ain't. They've been stuck here. Yeah. Because nobody leave because of the Pleiadian light line. Held together by the bands of the Pleiades. Talks about it in the Bible.
Yeah.
Right. So the only way to lose it is you have to get the Pleiadian key, 7 systems. So this is where we at. The last one in the system to call forth is OSHUN. That's the old love energy.
Yeah.
Right. That's the return of the Sweetwater. That's when Big Mama back on her throne. Right. You can't take over Big Mama house.
Big Mama, she don't play that. She don't like the way everything looking.
Yeah.
You know. So we're gonna ask y'all Rod, if you got some questions about the conjure and the end of the breaking this war conjure and closing out the last conjure. If y'all not understanding, just ask any of the questions that you feel like y'all need to ask about him, about the state we in, about the ending of the conjure, and what whatever you feel like after what he's expounded on, what you need to ask, let's come on with it. Y'all come on with this Q&A. What how long do you think we got before the Conjur ends?
I can't put no time on it, depending on how successful the message get across. It take how long it take.
Yeah.
That's what Big Mom keep telling me. This was up to me, this shit would have been over 3 years ago.
We ain't far out though, don't seem like.
Well, you looking at it crumble in your face in real time and we turn the other cheek.
Yeah. We letting them slap hell out of us and we ain't slapping back.
They're telling us what's going on, the Hunter Biden laptop situation, the Ukraine situation with the bodies in the basement of Joe Biden's properties over there. They're showing it to you. But it's certain stuff that we still need to do out of being in the position of right, exercising righteousness. Mm-hmm. One of those is to get the message to Haiti that it's time for us to call the Sweetwater back. So all of those hostile forces become friendly forces because they don't want no smoke with OSHUN.
Yeah.
Because she's backed up by the entire pantheon.
Yeah.
The whole Orisha house is supporting the transition of government back to a matriarchy.
Yeah.
Every fucking Masonic Lodge, Shriner Order, secret society, they all, shit in a different manner.
Yeah.
Because you got to have opposition, and some of them is opposition. You can't polish a diamond out of a piece of coal.
No.
You need some time, heat, and pressure. The time, heat, and pressure has to form the diamond from the coal, right? So it's the same with the character of the people. The understanding level. They can't see clear because they don't know how to read the energy, because they can't even pay attention to the energy because they're distracted with the world. This fast food culture got us in the bind. What instant gratification?
What do we need to close the Conjur?
Just need them to do. They already started to close. The main part is done. Now it's just calling back the Sweetwater, calling the energy of OSHUN to put the warriors to rest, because OSHUN is the only one who can soothe the warriors. That's that honey love, is what they call it. That sweet love. Shit, don't no man want to be rubbing up against another motherfucking tree. You want to love, just rub up against something soft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that make a big difference for the warriors. They're just trying to sidetrack the children with these alternative lifestyle programs that's social engineering. But if you turn everything back correctly, even the errant ones have to turn back to the right side, because everything got to be in this proper order.
We're going back into the matriarch.
Yeah. Put everything the way it's supposed to be, around the way it's supposed to run. Don't be hungry for power, be hungry for balance.
This one kind of goes on with what we was talking about in the car. What we was talking about in the car, I'm trying to...
The ships.
When Farrakhan said that the unidentified flying objects, as they call them, are in the midst waiting to rain down justice upon the unjust. You remember when he made that about Kanye,
his fight with them people.
Yes.
You talking about canceling?
Look, I'm talking about what significance does, because he said, like, Farrakhan kind of said the Nibiru, what he called it, the wheel, was a way to inflict justice down on, you know what I'm saying, us, if we didn't get our shit together.
That ain't us, ain't we? That shit ain't got nothing to do with us.
I know that's just what they was asking, you know what I'm saying? I want you to explain to them what he meant when he said that.
Look, when some niggas that get off the ship that can tell India kids from Inky kids on sight,
Yeah,
get off that ship, and the nigga standing next to you get hit in the head with a laser,
yeah,
then you'll figure it out.
yeah. You understand then.
You understand then.
Yeah, you can't hide from the truth.
They trying to fight God. You gotta understand this. They trying to fight God, Big Mama.
Yeah,
And Big Mama got a band of boys that don't fucking play. And she done turned them loose.
facts.
And if her daughters can't come home and have their shit, we will tear this motherfucker up from pole to pole.
Yeah,
Right? So now we already done told this motherfucker up. It's toe up from pole to pole.
yeah,
So what we do now? Put this shit back together. Mama said fix it. I'm just fixing it. It's nothing personal to me. I'm gonna fix it and go about my business.
yeah,
The only thing we got left is to get the message into Haiti
yeah.
at its source.
And that's what we here today. We're getting the message into Haiti, so they can do their part and call those warriors home, so they can bring that energy back home, bring that water back. That's done dried up the Mississippi and all that shit. They got to get that water flowing back.
You remember Hall and Oates?
Oh yeah,
Bring back that love and
feeling, yeah.
feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. Bring back that love and feeling, cause it's gone, gone, gone.
Y'all come on with these questions. I know y'all got some questions on here. Yeah, man. Act like they on here, but they ain't acting like they got nothing to add. Let's see, get down through. Okay, Rod. What I'm gonna go with is I want you to the council, the women's council that's gonna replace this once the system and we get the Conjur closed and everything comes back to the chiefs on the land and Big Mama setting up our house, explain to them the council and the hierarchy and how the banks gonna go.
So the banks is going to be changed over from central banks to family banks. That's what they was before they came, and that's what they used bank robbers to implement the central banking system. And we always had money at Big Mama House.
Yeah.
So Big Mama House was our center of commerce for each individual family, and all of the tribal nations, even the patriarchal ones, had a Big Mama in the clan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we determine the patriarchal clan by what we call a Blue House clan. Blue House clan, they have the right of rulership. The Red House clan have the right of inheritance. And that's why when they cross, they become purple. Okay. Purple means royal. Right? Purple rain, purple haze.
Yeah.
Right. So when you refine the character,
They say somebody say, Rod Hayes, get these niggas.
When you refine the character, right?
Yeah.
When we talking about the great arcana, the great work, right? When you refine the character of the individual, you become royalty by becoming equivalent to those platinum group metals.
Yeah.
Right. So when we talk about what's the value of a man is in his character.
Yeah.
Right. So if his character is for sale, I mean his integrity is for sale, then he's got a low value of character because he don't even value it himself.
Fact.
But if his opinions and ideas and expressions of the self is not for sale, it's not flexible, right? And he had what you call a noble character. Now, just because he got a noble character don't mean as a person he is inflexible.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that on his key principles, he don't be it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the key principles, now we talk about building the spine or the backbone of the man that's upright. So the metaphors is the building of the temple, right? And what's the temple? The temple of man, right?
Yeah.
And the temple of man's for what? It's built by Solomon, soul of man. Man's soul builds the temple. How does man's soul build a temple? Right? The man's soul builds a temple by striving to be itself. If it strives to be itself, it purifies the ego. The purification of the ego opens the individual to be utilized by the universe to express higher traits or qualities that another person can't exhibit. Right? So they talk about the divine right of kings to rule. Right? So the divine right of kings to rule, kings is made by queens. Mm-hmm. You can't knight a king can't knight a king in, but under patriarchy he can. But he'd never be able to knight in a queen. Mm-hmm. Queens are made by queens, right? Kings are made by queens, but they'll tell you that kings make queens. I mean, kings make kings. Yeah. That's not true. Emperors make kings. Yeah. Right? How is that so? A king doesn't want competition. The emperor has none. Yeah. So in the empire of the emperor, there's many kings. In the land of the original people, there's many chiefs. Yeah. And that's what the sister putting the Pope on notice. That's what that was about. You have to put them on public notice in their face for certain issues. That was a notification of the takeover. Yeah. And the notification that the continuity government was going to take place, whether the Pope wanted it or not. Yeah. What was his response? Bring my money home. Yeah. Right? Called all the money back to the Vatican. Why? You in casino gambling, why do you call all your money back to take when you get ready to leave? Yeah. Cashing out, ain't you? Yeah. Okay. He's cashing out the game. You can't, you don't even know the magnitude of papal holdings being withheld from the global network. It was all structured to be tied to the Vatican. Yeah. And that's why when all of the royals, the fake royals, kept blaming it on the Pope. And then the Pope told on the real motherfuckers behind the scenes because they the ones gave him his juice. Yeah. Yaku's graphic devil had overseers. And the overseers look like us.
The dirty Moors. Yep. The black nobility, the Jews. Yep. The real ones that got Kanye that's cutting off the water, not the ones you see with the locks.
Yeah, so those Khazarians were the children or mulatto children of blackamoors that became Tawny Moors. Mm-hmm. They became the illegitimate children and they didn't have nothing for them to do, so they put them over the money, right? Give them a sense of trust, right? Make them loyal to the house. Yeah. Right. So now, because they're over the money, they're going to be loyal to the one who placed them over the money. And they empowered by the black nobility. Yeah. The real Ashkenazis. Jews is a loose term. Jews is a generic term. It doesn't have any validity in historical records until the last probably 200 years or so. Hebrews, on the other hand, goes back. Now we're talking dynastic Hyksos period, right? But when you start talking about Emerald Tablet's time frame, when Tahuti made his way to build the Sphinx, looking out over the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert was an ocean at that time. It was a big lake. That's where the Nile used to drain. Yeah. The geography, you can see that it's been moved. When you look at the topography from outer space, you can see that the Nile's clearly been moved from its original drainage, and it's no secret to science anymore.
Yeah.
They've been proved it. They description of it is over years that it just snaked on over to the other side like that. And I know it to be an engineering project done by people who lived in what's known today as the Nile Valley. It was an engineering project in order to mimic the Mississippi as a mirror, upside down, backwards mirror.
Yeah.
It drains from south to north. It doesn't drain from north to south. The Mississippi drains from north to south, right? And I think it's half of another river that flows the opposite direction it's supposed to. But the Nile is the biggest. The Tigris and Euphrates, all of those biblical things, that shit didn't have nothing to do with us over here.
No,
right? So they be finding these cities in the Americas like Morocco, Missouri, or some shit. See, I told you this was Morocco. Nigga, that city was named in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Look at when these cities was named. These are not ancient cities with ancient names. And so, somewhere these things had to come to an end. We got to close out all of the conjures in order to close the age. There's no closing the age without closing the conjure. All things converge on a key point of trajectory for a turnaround. And the focal point is for the understanding of the people, the priests of the land, the chiefs of the land, and the matriarchs. We already know what's going on at the top from those who's studying. That's the only reason why we at the top, studying. Study our way up to the top. Work your way up. And then we begin to see things and you start explaining it to people, it look like you did some magical shit. But you really didn't do no magical shit. You just expressed what you were seeing, perceiving, and that was the way that it's seen by others. When you express it, you tell the person what you see, and it helped them see. Each one teach one. We all gonna reach them.
Oh yeah. So right, we got right here to the point we here closing the conjure. You done gave the people some good information and knowledge today. You want to leave them with something because they didn't have many questions. They all on here. They watching.
As long as they watching, they see. If they see, they gonna understand because they'll make it clear.
Yeah.
Right. And once you know they understand, they be responsible for their own part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
They're not responsible for my part. They're responsible for the part they come to the realization of. So they have to hold themselves accountable for what they know, because once you know, you can't unknow what you know.
You got to do your part.
Right. And that's why the trauma of education is once you get that shit, you can't give it back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like them magic glasses that Gregory talked about. Once you put them on, you can't take them off.
Yeah. You can't not see once you can see.
Yeah.
So we're going to end it on this one right here. We can keep going on this one so you can get the video going. So y'all, we're going to leave Rod, y'all. Appreciate him and thank him for coming out. If y'all want to tell them your cash app, Rod, if they want to send you a donation or something that for this heaven sent knowledge that our people really need. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I don't do it for the money, but I have to, when I'm asked, I got to provide the information on reciprocity.
Yeah. So give them your cash app, man. Let them.
So the cash app is $ capital S I K capital A P E. That's SIK8.
Hit them with it again. Let them get a good
$ capital S I K capital A P E SIK8.
Y'all we gotta take care of brothers like this because the updates that we get of where we are on the land, you can't get these updates from just anybody. and with factual, truthful information that that can't be disputed. So we appreciate the good brother, and y'all you know, send let him know who you are, and when you send him something, if you send him something, let him know that you appreciate him and appreciate the knowledge that he's given to you, the brothers and the sisters of the craft, because he's taking y'all and giving y'all some keys that you might not even know existed, or you couldn't put them into the right you couldn't utilize them to the way that you was getting the muck and mile out of you and straightening your path. You couldn't get your balance. Well, this brother's one of the brothers that can help you grow into your balance, to straighten your crooked path, and bring you closer to Big Mama. We all need to get a little more Big Mama's love and give back this
I tell you, Big Mama gonna tell your ass off.
Real.
Then she gonna feed you good.
Yeah.
Just make sure you ain't all the way wrong when she telling you off. Wrong when she telling you off, but make sure you ain't all the way wrong.
And don't lie to her, because she know the truth.
Mm-hmm. You can't lie to her, because every time you try to lie to her, you just can't get nothing out.
Yeah. Like Rod said, when they get off them ships, the ones that get hit in the head with the lightning bolt, Big Mama knew they wasn't right. Your heart wasn't right. She knew your heart wasn't right. So you can't hide if you're a liar nowadays. You got to be who you say you are.
Women been built in lie detectors the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't know how to trust themselves. They don't know how to feel like an OSHUN, because they're worried about controlling things they shouldn't be worried about, right? But the reason it is, that's why some of us is in arranged marriages.
Yeah.
Right? We rather for our parents to put it together, knowing who we are, than trying to meet somebody haphazardly along the way.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then the royal families do that anyway. Real royalty, the woman who loves you the same level that your mama loved you is the only one that can get you from your mama.
Yeah.
And especially a mama's boy. I'm mama's right-hand man. Right? Oh, yeah. So when the energy is activated, you open your eyes up, you got the magic glasses now, motherfucker, you see.
Yeah. You can't not see.
You can